discuss, but I don't know, maybe like a little bit of like a not life coaching, but like advice, and general discussion with myself and anybody who watches this, and I don't know, it watches this video, but the deck I want to show you is another Pioneer deck. I've been playing a lot of Pioneer recently, and I've really been enjoying it. And I thought I played Abzan Greasefang, and I do like it, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. I am a very big mid-range player, as you know. Even Abzan Greasefang, the reason I like it is because it has a backup. And by the way, you can see Krieger's butt. This is my cat. Krieger, could you move your butt? Scrunching up my mouse pad. The reason I like Abzan Greasefang is because it has a mid-range backup plan for an aggro combo deck. So I like even the decks that I play that aren't like mid-range kind of are mid-range. So I'm just like a big mid-range guy. And one deck, Karuga Fires, is like, I mean, any Fires of Invention deck is very mid-rangey, obviously, but Karuga Fires is a pretty kind of popular deck in Pioneer right now. I didn't go with Karuga Fires. I actually ended up going with what I'm calling Big Red, like the gum. It's just mono red. Fires of Invention, big creatures, attack face, and a little bit of carnage. Karn the Great Creator. So, yeah, it's pretty basic. You just, it's not done yet. I have 2 copies of Glorybringer coming in the mail, and 1 copy of Spikefield Hazard, although I'm thinking, for 3 total. Krieger, don't eat that. What are you doing? Get out of there. I'm thinking of doing 2 Spikefield Hazards and 1 Valakut Awakening, and I might even have a Valakut Awakening. Anyway, so the center, the core of the deck is Fires of Invention and Karn the Great Creator. For those of you who don't know, Fires of Invention, you can cast spells only during your turn, and you can cast no more than 2 spells each turn. You may cast spells with converted mana costs less than or equal to the number of lands you control without paying their mana costs. So with Fires of Invention, you could play this, and then you get essentially one free 4 mana spell on your turn. So I have 4 copies of Karn the Great Creator. My sideboard obviously has like a very generic Karn board and stuff. 1 copy of Chandra Torch of Defiance, some Thought-Knot Seers, Anger of the Gods to control the matchup, Fable, the Mirror Breaker, Bone Crusher Giant, and Cleansing Wildfires. We'll get into what purpose that serves later. But really what the reason is, when you untap the next turn and you have 5 lands, you can play Cavalier of Flame and Glorybringer. Essentially you could play like both of them for free. Obviously the point of the deck isn't to play Fires and then Cavalier and Glorybringer, but they're options is my point. The deck does have a lot of very interesting lines that you can play, like with the Fires of Invention out, you could cast a Cavalier of Flame, and if you have a flipped Fable of the Mirror Breaker where it turns into Kiki Jiki, you can use your Cavalier Flame. Since you haven't used any mana technically, you can use his mana ability, the 1 in a red, to give the token of the Fable of the Mirror Breaker haste, so that you can copy your Cavalier, and essentially make it like like multiple Cavaliers and stuff. It's not just like play Fires of Invention and then like play a bunch of like, free, like 2 free cards a turn type thing. It has some pretty interesting lines, but at the end of the day, yes, it's just taking advantage of Fires of Invention to be a more powerful mid-range to overwhelm people, whereas, typical mid-range deck could only probably play 1 threat per turn. With Fires of Invention, you can play multiple. That being said, Fires of Invention, I feel like still is not a great matchup against control. Like, even though, mid-range usually just folds to control, I feel like Fires of Invention still is kind of pretty tough against control decks. You do get the extra threat each turn, like you could potentially play 2 threats each turn, which is something, but I still feel like control decks have an upper hand on you. One thing that I did is a lot of decks play 4 Thought-Knot Seer. I did 3 and 1 Chandra. I feel like Chandra is really good against control. Control usually has a tough time with Planeswalkers. obviously if you get a Fires of Invention down, it's no guarantee you have 2 threats in your hand, right? So, yeah, so that's, and Cavalier Flame and Glorybringer, because I feel like if you have a Cavalier Flame, you also want to be playing Glorybringer. Aspiring Spike, when he made this deck, played the Golos version, which I think people, again, like, he's a very good player, way better than I'll ever be. My one criticism is, like, a lot of times I feel like that card is prioritized, where I feel like this deck doesn't want Golos, not only because you have Fable of the Mirror Breaker and you can't therefore copy a Golos, but like with Cavalier Flame on the battlefield, you don't want a Golos like, sure, a Golos on the battlefield isn't bad, but Cavalier Flame wants a different threat on the battlefield. You want like a Glory, even then Glorybringer already has haste, but you get my point. I feel like Cavalier Flame wants other threats other than Golos. I thought about doing one Golos instead of Chandra, but let's just think, like, you have 4 Karn. 4 Karn means that you have 4 chances in your deck to get a Golos anyway, so I feel like 1 in the sideboard is more than enough. I feel like putting 1 in the main deck is not a good idea, but it just goes to show there's a lot of different ways to play decks, and obviously Aspiring Spike is a very good Magic player who played, I think that, I'm not saying his deck is bad, and mine is better, but I think, or maybe I should say, I like Cavalier and Glorybringer as a combo more than Cavalier and Golos. But the one thing you have to consider with Golos is, obviously, if you're not using mana abilities, or if you're not spending mana to cast your 2 threats a turn, Golos obviously looks better because you can use his mana ability. That being said, when you have 3 Golos in the deck and you use his mana ability, which is 7, and you don't have, like, the only thing you're gonna hit is Cavaliers, and potentially Karns and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's different ways to play the deck. I prefer mine. I don't think that mine is better. I just prefer mine. Well, not mine. Doomwake played this version essentially, and I thought his was better. So when I made my deck, I modeled mine off of his, and it's almost card for card. But I mean, there's not really a lot of changes you can make. The one thing I think, like 2 Spikefield Hazard, maybe 3. Maybe he's right with 3 Spikefield Hazard for like the mono white matchup. You really want to have a Spikefield Hazard for Thalia, but I think, like, and also like with Fable of the Mirror Breaker, maybe you have enough ways to discard and draw cards, but like I think 2 Spikefield Hazard and 1 Valakut Awakening could actually be like a good mix. Cleansing Wildfire, 4 copies, destroy target land, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on top of the library, and you draw a card. So basically you mix that with 4 copies of Cascading Cataracts, which is indestructible, and Darksteel Citadel. A lot of decks I saw only played 3 Darksteel Citadel. I'm playing 4 because I feel like if you're playing Wildfire, like, you want to have a indestructible land with if you have Wildfire in your hand, you probably want the indestructible land. That being said, like, this is actually a very good land destruction deck. Like, you can use Cleansing Wildfire on your opponent, and there's 4 copies of Field of Ruin to mess with your opponents. Like, I don't know. It's a cool deck. I like it because it's very it's like mid-range on crack, because you actually get to cast 2 spells per turn. Yeah, so it's a deck that I like. Here's the sideboard. I did 2 copies of Burning Hands, 2 copies of Lava Coil. Burning Hands for mono green, Lava Coil for like any aggressive matchup. And then we have like a Karn package, Soul Guide Lantern, Heart of Kirin, which, like, I really don't know why I've never seen a situation where I've wanted a Heart of Kirin, so I might cut this. I have a Sovereign Sky. I have the boat. Everybody knows it as the boat. What is it? Sky Sovereign Flagship or whatever. I have it in my Abzan Greasefang deck. I bought another one just so I don't have to change between the 2, but it's going to be in the sideboard. Heart of Kirin, might cut this for something else. Combustible Gear Hulk, just a good fetch if you need a big creature. It also is, like, its ability is pretty powerful, but not that powerful. Damping Sphere, good against mono green. Twin Shot Sniper, its removal and a cycle a card. God Pharaoh statue, really good against control. Shadow Spear, you put this on a Glory Bringer and you probably win the game. Meteor Golem, get rid of a pesky threat, get a 3/3 which can crew boat. Golos, obviously, and Pithing Needle. That's 14, the 15th obviously being the boat. Skyship, Sovereign, or whatever. So yeah, just wanted to show you Big Red. I can't wait to play it. Alright, and next, I don't know if you can see that, but this deck box says Hammer Time, and it is not Hammer Time. It is my Yuriko, which is just a really annoying deck that everybody in Commander hates, and that's actually what I wanted to talk about today. I've been on Reddit recently, and I saw some, like, drama going on Reddit about people. I'm just going to be sleeving this in the background, so, like, this, I'm not going to be talking about these cards. I think I've already shown some of this deck, probably, but I'm just going to be sleeving this in the background while I talk about something. I have been watching, or I've been on Reddit recently, and I've been seeing a lot of drama about, like, content creators, one specifically who I mean, I name everybody because nobody watches my channel, but, like, there's no real reason to. Usually when I mention content creators, it's Aspiring Spike, Doomwake, it's people I like and watch, and respect, and they probably will never ever hear of me, but I never have a bad thing to say. Like, I'll disagree with somebody's decision, or I'll have a differing opinion about, just like I had with the Golos version of Big Red versus the Glorybringer version of Big Red. So that's the thing, I don't play Magic enough and well enough to really have a valid opinion or to say anything about any specific content creator or anything like that. And this extends beyond a specific situation. It really gets down to the core of Commander. But basically, there is a content creator who has been called out by the community for being, I guess the word would be toxic. Being a sore sport and a sore loser. And in general, just being unkind to even people who were supporters of theirs. And this isn't gonna go off the rails, but the first thing that I wanted to mention is, like, something I've been seeing about, or something I've been noticing about our culture recently. And I hate to be on a soapbox, but, like, people are really devoting a lot of time, money, and emotional investment into people they don't know. And what I mean is, we've got Twitch and other mediums, YouTube, that allow us, Twitter, to see into the lives of streamers and content creators, other people who are into hobbies that we are, and we connect with them in a way that I'm starting to think I haven't always thought, but I've really recognized recently is really unhealthy. And what really made me realize it was one of my good friends who lived in Connecticut, where I live. He moved, and when he moved because his wife got a job in another state, and he didn't have friends there yet. I think he does now, kind of, but the thing is, I noticed he was posting and replying a lot to this streamer I'll name because it's not the one I was talking about before. He was replying and like specifically like tweeting at Tim the Tatman a lot, and I thought that was kind of odd. And it kind of became apparent that like he like almost thought of Tim the Tatman. He watched. So his job, he doesn't really work a lot. Not as much as, he has a cushy job. He doesn't have to do much, no pressure. So he sits around and watches streams all day. And I think he got really connected to Tim the Tatman, so he would like tweet at him like they were friends type of thing. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe a lot of fans tweet the way that he was tweeting, and I'm not aware of it, but it just didn't seem normal to me. So anyway, I kind of got tuned into like how unhealthy it can be, where you see content creators and other people as your friend, and they're not. It's just something that is kind of sad. When you see people kind of depending or like relating to people in a way that, I mean, I'm not saying that content creators are bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't see them as, a positive part of your life, but like to see them as your friend is inherently not good, because they're not. They're a stranger to you. You do not know them. You see a lot of their life, but not all of it. And it's just unhealthy. And there's situations where people are, like, obviously streamers rely on, viewers and subs and whatever for income. So I'm not saying don't donate to your favorite streamer or whatever, but like, just don't bankrupt yourself. I'll leave it at that. Do everything in moderation. Like, watch your favorite streamer, connect with them, but just keep it healthy. Always recognize that, you only know so much about them. Don't rely on them for things that they can't provide. Don't invest too much into somebody who really isn't a part of your life. That being said, they have, subscribers, Patreons, this, that, and the other thing. So this, going back to the original conversation, this content creator treated a lot of his Patreons or subscribers or what have you poorly, and there's been a lot of backlash. And the backlash and the reason people are speaking out is because he would play games, Magic games, Commander games with his subscribers, Patreons, what have you. And he would be upset to the point where he would be abusive when he lost. Hey, Krieger. Or he or she. And I'm not trying to call them out specifically, but I think it's important that, and it's not, I think the core of it is people who play Commander. Like, Commander, I think, started as a format. I mean, I don't think it started as a format. I think the idea of the format was to create more interactive and long games. And, of course, when you make a new format, people who play competitively, I think it was a more for fun format. But obviously, anytime you do something for fun, it will get competitive, because competitive people will, see it as a challenge and an opportunity to express their competitiveness, which is healthy, that's normal, that's fine. So obviously when something seems to me to start for fun, I don't know the history of Commander, I could be totally wrong, but to me it seemed like a format that started as a for fun format and has slowly become a competitive format. And when that happens, people get more upset when they lose. They're there's more stakes. People get upset because they spent a long time building a deck, finding the cards that they need, buying the cards that they need, and then when they take it to a table and lose, they get really upset. So I'm bringing this up as an example. I have nothing to say. I don't know the content creator. I don't know the story. All I've seen is what I've seen on Reddit. And those sources, obviously, we all know Reddit. But it's believable. I could see it happening, is my point. And I think the problem is it's the fact that people have forgotten why Commander existed in the first place, which again, to me, was always about the fun and not the winning, necessarily. I mean, every game is about winning, yes, but I think it was it's, the classic adage, it was about the journey, not the destination, right? So, like, yes, you want to play to win, but, like, it's more about the fun along the way, whereas, like, in 60-card formats, really, like, if you're playing competitively, it's not about the fun, it's about the win. And the fun is in finding the win. In Commander, it's about playing a game with, 3 other people. So it can be really interactive. There could be ups, there could be downs, there could be this, there could be that. And you're playing to win, but, like, the game is the most important part. And now, yeah, it just doesn't feel like that. I think because it's gotten to this point is why we see things like this happening, why we see people taking it super seriously, and every single day on the EDH subreddit, I see people telling stories about, like, other players getting salty and this and that, and, I took my Elves deck to my local game store and everybody got upset with me that I was playing CEDH, and everybody, it just, everything is getting so bogged down, and everybody, and, I say this as I'm sleeving up a Yuriko deck. Hey, don't you guys forget, I play Ayara, fuck, who else do I play? Ayara, I had a Reese, the Elves deck, I had a Amara deck, I had, who else did I have? Anyway, this is my one attempt at making, like, a not CEDH, but a deck. This is my Commander play to win deck, and I built it in a scenario where I have to play people who are like how I'm describing. If there are people who are only focused on winning, this is the deck that I will play. So, very apropos that this is the deck that I'm sleeving up. But, like, in a normal game, I'd probably play my Ayara, the Elf Noble, the mono black Elf Noble deck, the one where I death by 1,000 cuts, which is never a good idea in Commander, but, like, do you get my point? I don't know, do I make any sense? Drown in the Lock. I'm actually gonna put that, because, like, this isn't even done. I'm sleeving up these cards. I don't even know how many cards I have. I don't even know if this is, like, the full 100. I'm just sleeving this up because I have these extra Demir sleeves, and I just want to get them on cards. And anyway, I think we just need to take I just think that, like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I just wish that people didn't take this as seriously as they do. I wish people could kind of relax, get things back to, or kind of just, like, I don't know. Remember what you're playing for. Remember what you're doing. You're sitting at a table, presumably with either friends or other people who enjoy Magic the Gathering as a hobby, and you're playing a game with cards. And I hate people who say that you're playing a children's game. This game wasn't designed for children. But you're playing a game, and that's all it is at the end of the day. It's a game. And if your commander gets countered and your whole Krieger, watch out, please don't. Oh my god. Okay. If your commander gets countered and your whole game plan is screwed up, and you don't freak out and, you know, flip the table. I like, just don't, like, there's no, like, you know, just like everything, there's no space. Nobody likes a sore sport, and there's no space for it. So just don't be that guy. Just don't. You know, just enjoy the game and take every loss as a lesson. All the other old adages. Just keep that in mind when you play Magic the Gathering. It's if you're playing oh my god, Krieger, you're just knocking everything over. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I just wish people could enjoy the game, and then, like, I hate to keep going and, like, beating a dead horse, but, like, so you see this kind of drama where, like, a content creator, you know, it's the classic EDH, you know, somebody loses and gets upset and blah 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 blah, happens every day. I don't see why it's a big deal. Well, I do see why it's a big deal if the rumors are true that he was being abusive, or they were being abusive, but, like, people get upset in Commander every day. But, like, it's all you see about the game anymore, and that's really what the issue is, I think, for me. Every time I go onto Twitter and I am, like, going through Magic the Gathering stuff, it's all drama. It's just people getting upset, and rightfully so, or, you know, maybe it's people being overdramatic. It doesn't matter. When all you ever see about the game is drama and people being upset, it affects how you think about it. So every time I play Magic, or every time I go, you know, I'm almost considering, like, just, like, not following any of the Magic people that I follow on Magic anymore, because it's all so negative. Everyone, like, you know, content creators that are women being harassed by creepy Magic dudes, which, fucking, of course that's gonna happen. Like, it's just unavoidable. Everywhere you go and look up Magic stuff, somebody is being a dick, and somebody else is suffering, or somebody's complaining, or somebody, you know, just, I almost can't stand it anymore. I only have so much empathy, right? Like, I can only look at Twitter and feel sorry for somebody 1 second, be angry at somebody the next second, be really, like, you know, and then very rarely be really happy, or like, oh, this isn't a cool deck. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm following the wrong people, but, like, it's exhausting. I can only feel so many feelings in 30 seconds scrolling through Twitter, but it just, you know, everything you see. Maybe I should just follow the only people I like. I don't know. I don't even know what to think or do anymore, but neither here nor there. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. Magic Twitter, the Magic community will always be what it is, and it won't change. And me complaining on my little ASMR channel won't do anything, but just, if everybody could just be happy, if everybody could just chill out, stop being dicks, if everybody could just get along and be cool and enjoy the game. But, you know, that's too much to ask. Asking people to enjoy a game is too much to ask, and here I go being negative now. It's all just a vicious cycle, but I don't know. I think we should all just try to learn something from what we're doing every day and get better, and that's what you do when you lose Magic. You know, you lose a game of Magic, figure out what you did, figure out what you can do better. This is probably way more than 100 cards. I did not. This is definitely way more than 100 cards. And I barely have any lands, but it's probably because I'm waiting to buy the rest of the lands that I need for this deck. But yeah, this is. I'm gonna need to cut some stuff, but whatever. Cut some stuff and then add the rest of the lands. I just need to get these sleeved. So yeah, that is it. That's all I wanted to say. Ooh, and I got a new phone. It does this whole thing, you know, this whole. Which I had another one that did that, but it shit the bed, so I had to get a new one. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think I'm just sick of not Magic. I'm just sick of the people who play it, and I just wish that people were cooler, that people weren't racist and sexist and could just come to the game and play it like normal people and enjoy it. But that's too much to ask. It is what it is. But hopefully I'll be playing more Pioneer in paper. I'm looking up desperately trying to find places that are hosting Pioneer games. Just can't seem to find any ones that really work. It's like Monday night at like 6:30 and Friday night, like, or is it Tuesday? It might have been tonight, but I had to work late because USA played Iran today in soccer, and we won. Yay! So I was super happy about that, but I had to make a deal with my boss to like take 2 hours off and then work the 2 hours later. So yeah, I think there was a Pioneer event tonight that I missed, and it's like Friday night. It's like, why Friday, dude? Like, I can't make Fridays. Fridays are me days. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just desperately. So if anybody is in or near Connecticut and plays Pioneer and knows a shop that runs Pioneer events that are not on Fridays, let me know, because I am desperately trying to find a place to play. There's one place that I play, and it has it on, I think it's like the first Sunday of each month, and I'm trying to go to that. But last time I went, nobody showed up, so they didn't fire. But it's what it is. Yeah, trying to play Pioneer. Loving Pioneer. It's a format where the answers aren't as good as the threats. So you actually have interactive games and creature combat matters. Whereas in Modern, just the threats or the answers are so much better than the threats that like nothing ever sticks on the board for long. So yeah, it's fun to play a card and have it actually do something and have an effect. So I'm loving Pioneer. I'm trying to. My local game store has Modern like every week, so I do want to finish building a Modern deck. I have my mono black Cabal Coffers deck, but like I'm kind of over it. I just want to play a competitive. I want to win games when I'm playing 60 cards. So, and also when there's money on the line, like I'm not playing casually. There's money on the line. Actually, I'm paying $10 to play, and if I win, I get more money. I get a lot of like store credit. So there's money on the line. It's a competitive game. Like I want to win. So I want to get. I had a lot of fun with mono black Cabal Coffers, but like I want to have one competitive actual deck, and I'll have all my meme decks. And then in Pioneer, of course, like I have two not very well. Absent Greasefang is somewhat competitive, but I think it's moving down in the metagame now that people are prepared for it. But Big Red is probably not very competitive, but I think I might catch people by surprise. But yeah, I want to have like one. All my decks are basically just bad decks that I think are cool. But I want to have one like legitimately good meta deck, and I think I'm gonna build Murktide. I started building it and kind of put it on the wayside. I should finish building it so I can actually play it and play Magic every week at my local game store. But I'm an idiot and I spend money I don't have on cards I don't need for decks I'm not exhausted from magic drama, I guess you would call it. I might edit this. I don't wanna I don't wanna get into this. Anyway, thank you all for listening to me ramble. I am probably gonna edit out the last 15 minutes of rambling I just did because it got weird. But that's just who I am, and I haven't been sleeping really well lately, so thanks everybody for watching Krieger's butt on half your screens while I rambled about stupid shit, was a hypocrite, and sleeved